How's it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar, and I am from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. Wow, I almost screwed that up. It's been a minute. I go away for a weekend, and I'm like, what do I do again? Oh, yeah, that's right, collected editions.
This is considering you also did have a stream on Saturday, too.
I did. I can't believe I did that, like, considering how late we stayed out drinking. But before I go any further, I want these kind folks to introduce themselves and let you know a little bit about their channels and what they do and who they are.
You want to go ahead, Tom?
Yeah, sure.
People know
DomofX, YouTube creator by the same name, content creator by the same name. I am the assistant editor of comicreleases.com, your one-stop shop for all collected edition updates, release dates. We have that all sorted out for you neatly and nicely. And for just $2 a month, we have a Patreon that you can have a watch list so that you can keep track of every single one of your books that you're planning to buy or thinking of buying and get them up to date as well. I'm also the project intern for Near Mint Condition. Thank you again for having me today, Omar.
Oh, of course, man. Of course. Intern. Can you still call yourself that? And this is Releases links. I was trying to find a background for us suitable for this stream. So let's just go with this independent color. All right. Bunkmaster B, who are you?
What's up, man? Hey guys. I'm Bunkmaster B. I'm someone that I would say enjoys a good bowl of soup as long as it's not too hot. I've been known to take a brisk walk on a nice summer's day, and I get about 32 miles to the gallon in my car, so I got that going for me.
Do you have a Tesla?
32 miles no, it's just like a straight up sedan, man.
That's how poor I am. I don't even know what a Tesla runs on. Like what? Electricity?
Your brain waves. You
brain
collect
waves.
an electrode, and it harvests your personal data and gives that to Elon Musk, and then he allows you to have power that controls your car.
Okay.
For someone who has someone in their family who owns a Tesla, and on top of that, I have a friend who also interns for Tesla as well. I can 100% say that is correct.
What? None of that is real. Bunk, where can people get misinformation?
If you're looking to watch some videos about some indie comics that you probably aren't searching for, you can find me on YouTube at BunkmasterB. I just put out a new video today about the 5 books that you're not reading right now, but you should be. And I just like talking about comics. So, are we here to do that today, Omar?
That's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about comics. We are here to talk about not the big two, though. We're not here to talk about Marvel or DC Comics. We are here to talk about the solicitations for July for other publishers. So it's really cool to get to do this. This was a big idea by Dom. He was like, hey, man, you do Marvel and DC. How about showing some love for Dark Horse and Image? And I was like, yeah, man. Wait a minute. You were supposed to give me ideas on how to save time, not how to make more videos. And that's how all of this got started. So I blame him. And people said that they enjoyed watching this. So I was like, okay, well, it looks like we have a new monthly installment on my already busiest week of the month, but that's okay. That's okay. As a matter of fact, Dom is going to drive today because my second monitor decided to just blow up on me.
R.I.P. We commemorate this episode to Omar's second monitor. May it rest in peace well, and it still find itself in Valhalla for electronics.
20 years in IT, and I have made sure unplugged and plugged it back in and not done. See water on Omar's desk. I guess he's not drunk today. That was this weekend. This weekend was wild and crazy and amazing and just went by way too quick.
And if you want to see videos of that, you can join the NMC Discord as part of a Patreon perk for only $5 a month.
Wow, look at that. Dang, you're just as good as Melanie. She's about to get replaced. All right. I better not say that too loud. She might be watching this later. The solicits. What are we starting with today? What do we got, Dom?
Let's see. Let me go ahead and share the screen.
James is on top of it, too. Thank you, James.
Let's see if this is going to... All right. You guys can see it, right?
Yes. Why don't you make it bigger?
Yeah. Okie dokie. Is that big enough?
Big enough for me. Oh, you're starting with the big dogs. You're starting with Image Comics. Okay.
Go ahead and start off with Mrs. Image. I don't know what we're calling this, but
I think
we've
Image
got
uses they them pronouns.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
You know what's funny about Adventure Man? This weekend, people were asking the panel. There was a good question, like, what book should we be reading that, that doesn't get enough attention or spotlight? I was like, oh man, what a good question. And that was the question like towards the end of the panel. And I was like, oh, what am I going to say? I was like, I had just finished reading Ryan North's Fantastic Four volume. What was it? Volume 3, I think, the one that I read. So I was fresh on the mind. But luckily, Oddfell was like, oh, Adventure Man. I love that book. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad there was mention of that. So this is the third hardcover. And it collects Adventure Man Ghost Lights 1 and 2. So I assume these are oversized issues.
These are the hardcovers come out not in the regular OHC format like most books typically come in. It's not like as small as something like this. It's just like a little bit wider. It's a lot wider. It's more of like your European style of OHC versus
which you might refer to as an
form.
Album if you're in on that side of the pond.
So they don't put the trim size on here. That's interesting.
They don't. And that's one thing I wish Image put in along with the rest of theirs, where they just don't have it in their catalog. Even if you go on lunardistribution.com, they don't have that information publicly available. Like, whereas with Penguin, they have it publicly available. But I wish Lunar had it, but it is what it is.
Okay. And this one is $14.99. So I'm assuming page count is probably they don't have the page count for this either.
They don't. But it's
Marvel and DC have spoiled me rotten. Okay, moving on. Then I assume it's 48 pages each, right? Maybe, or is it even breaking? Well, no, you said European style, so maybe it's like 96 pages to 120, something like that, for $14.99.
Yeah,
96 sounds right.
96.
The Ghostlight series were like oversized, but I don't remember them being like double issue kind of things. So I think it's not going to be the equivalent of like a previous volume 1 through 6. It's a little bit smaller than that.
Thank you for that, Bunkmaster.
Artwork is fantastic, and it's Matt Fraction telling pulp stories, which he adores. You can tell both of the sides of them, the Dodsons and Matt Fraction. Like, this is such a passion project for them. You know, this is one that they're doing because they're telling the stories that they want to tell. I've been rereading the Immortal Iron Fist run that Fraction did with Ed Brubaker, and throughout that, there's all these cutbacks to sort of like pulp, heroes. The 1920s swashbuckling Zeppelin adventures, and like this is basically him not having to hide those pulp adventures in another book he's writing.
Thank you for that pitch. I know that the Fractions really love working on this, so much so that any break that they have doing anything, they come back to this particular book.
Absolutely. And the next book that we have for the solicitations is Bloodstrike, Book 1, hardcover Battle Blood by Rob Liefeld, which doesn't have a cover.
Does it have the content?
It is a limited edition. It does not have the content.
So limited edition, probably 5 or 6 issues. I saw that he's doing a Kickstarter for Evangeline. I don't know. It's really interesting the properties that he has the rights to, because he sold off things like Youngblood, so he can't, he doesn't own the rights to Youngblood or Supreme, meaning that those won't get reprinted in hardcover or even kickstarted by him, which is a shame, because as much as I hated Supreme at the beginning, just awful story. When Alan Moore came in, he did one of the most amazing, I don't want to call it like Swamp Thing level type of retcons to the book, but it was pretty much one of those type of retcons that you're like, oh, I thought I was reading about, oh, I'm not reading about that. Okay, now it's this book. Got it, Alan Moore. I thought that was really cool. And now who knows when those books will ever be collected. I don't even know who who owns the rights to them. But Bloodstrike is one of those characters that he owns the rights to. I think he owns the rights to most of the team that's in there. I don't know who he's using in this reimagining, but it looks like Blood Wolf. Oh no, guest starring Brigade and Blood Wolf. So, have you all read this new series? It's by Rob Liefeld, written, art, everything.
I can't say I particularly go out of my way for Rob Liefeld's new stuff. Happy for those that are excited about it, but that's I lived through the 90s. I put that part of my life behind me.
I put that part of my life behind me? What? That's so dramatic. Okay. I love it. I'm still a sucker for this stuff, so I'll probably end up reading it. Adventure Man Ghost Lights will likely be, thank you, Noel. It's Noel, probably. 64 plus pages. Each issue was only 32 pages. Woo! That's got to be a lot of extras in there, probably. Ryan is here. He loves Rob Liefeld, doesn't he?
He was in the chat earlier. Yeah. He
maybe he means Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson maybe loves.
Well,
you gotta buy it then.
You have too many Ryans, man.
I have too many Ryans.
I know one of the Ryans was on here. I think he got blocked by Liefeld on Twitter, and he was pretty excited about that.
Wow, I think that's a thing, right? Like people getting blocked.
Oh yeah, I remember a friend of mine got blocked from Twitter for not hyphenating Spider-Man in the replies, and then Rob went on an audacious rant about how Spider-Man's supposed to be spelled like 30 minutes after blocking my friend. So
wow, okay, interesting. I do love the fact that he started blocking people for making fun of the fact that he draws or there's lack of feet in his drawings. And then he double downs on the joke when it's in the movie as an Easter egg. He's like, "Oh, these guys are hilarious in this multi-million-dollar movie."
I wonder how much they paid him for the cameo.
Oh, he gets as some kind of co-creator, and that was of course after the whole Schuster and Siegel lawsuit with Superman. They get money for that. And him, I think he still credits himself as sole creator. I don't know how that's written into any contract. I'm sure he gets, something, and they're free to use whatever. So good on him, right? Good on him.
Good on Mr. Rob, and also good on Mr. Lemire for putting out another one of these Bone Orchard tenement series. I don't know if they're oversized, but
I'm pretty sure these are getting released as standard size.
Yeah, these are standard, I think. Yeah. I read the first trade and I don't. Wait, no. These are standard. They should be the same size as the Gideon Falls. Isn't Gideon Falls direct market? Deluxe edition? Yeah, Gideon Falls is deluxe. I assume this is going to be deluxe based on the price of $39.99 with the first 10 issues.
Okay,
I read the first trade
because the first OGN came out standard size.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Robin Audacious Red is basically his. I did. I said the reason he doesn't like the Blade movie because they stand off showing his feet. Oh, you made a joke about the feet. What? You were just asking to get banned at that point. He blocked me for referencing the video he put out of himself inking a page while driving on the highway. Why would you reference a video he did? That's holding people accountable, man.
That's what the internet does, man.
I read the first trade and I dug it. I thought it was a faster read than the Gideon Falls, which took me a little bit to get into. But I think people are divided. Like people love the beginning of Gideon Falls and then did not like the ending. Whereas I was the other way around. I was like, give me some confusion in here, and I dig it. I thought it was a little bit of a slow burn at the beginning, and then towards the end it picked up and it went a different way than I thought, which I enjoyed. But did you all dig Gideon Falls, or have you read Bone Orchard? It's the same team.
I read the OGN and I enjoyed it. I haven't gotten past the first arc of Gideon Falls, but I plan to revisit again at some other point and binge the whole thing throughout.
I love Gideon Falls. I'm very much a love the first arc and like what comes after that lesser. I still enjoy it, but I mean, that first arc is like absolutely. It's like you said, it's a slow burn, but it's setting that environment. It's so creepy. It's so eerie. Like that first trade is one of my annual Halloween rereads. Like, turn off all the lights. Just go by like flashlight. It just so good.
The image of the priest sitting on the bed, I think, is embedded in my head. I thought that was a really good, creepy image.
Oh, or when you get the smiling man just like in the little like mirror when like the little references before you fall. Yeah, they do a good job with that. I mean, it's a fantastic team going back to their time working on Green Arrow together. Like this is one of, I think, those like classic pairs in comics right now, like a Brubaker Phillips. These guys where it's like they've worked together so long, they kind of know what they're doing. They look for projects to work off each other.
And I will say I was not the biggest fan of Andre Sorrentino's art in like Old Man Logan or that Green Arrow, but it fits this type of story to me. It's got this creepy, eerie feel to it that I think works better with the color tones that Dave Stewart used.
Yeah, he does really like scratchy lines, which I think works really well in sort of like a creepy, eerie horror book. Like that, his line work was the first thing that attracted me to Gideon Falls. Is it's like that's the thing that sort of like sets you off tone, where everything looks just a little bit off. And then Stewart's art or line work to kind of give not everything a completely clean fill with the blacks just like works really well, I think.
Now, I have a question for you because you're a original art collector, which can get really dangerous. Oh my gosh, especially if your favorite artist is no longer with us too. That gets really, really dangerous. But does he do digital art or is he old school, like on paper? Because I mean, I'm sure everybody has probably seen some of the accusations and things that are going on right now with his art in the Chip Zdarsky Batman. I think it was one issue. The AI stuff, but I was wondering, has he always been a digital artist? Because to me, I thought he was one of these artists, the way that you described it, right? Like that scratchy line art. I thought he was a paper, like pen on paper type of artist.
You would think that, and I don't know for sure, but I think a lot of sort of the sort of scratchiness that you get is actually partly due to the coloring. Like I think Stewart is providing a lot of that.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And I think he's getting kind of that on like a syntax where he's sort of like giving a little bit of like a because if he was hand inking that with like all of the like the line work like that would be just an insane level of detail for like every single thing he's doing.
Okay. I'm curious, because if you had told me that Alex Maleev was a digital artist, I would not have believed it, but he was like one of the pioneers of digital art. And I was really upset when I was like, "Oh, I can't buy any original art because I really like some of this stuff." Okay, Dom, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say Michael Gaidos. He does traditional, and he was on the other big Bendis title at the time. So hey,
yeah,
Michael Gaidos at the same time that before that, but like kind of what led Bendis to Daredevil was Alias, and Gaidos, who was on with that. He does traditional.
All right, Dom, what's next, buddy?
We've got another fantastic title, Department of Truth, edited by my good friend Steve Fox. But we got James Tynion back with Martin Simons to continue to round out the series. Phenomenal stuff.
So this finishes out the title then?
Does it? I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Designed.
So for me, this was another one that was a little bit of a slow burn. I did not like the first trade paperback. I kind of saw the twist coming. And when I got the oversized hardcover, I was like, well, I'm going to do it justice. I'm going to keep reading because people kept telling me that it gets better and better. So I started reading it. And after the first arc, about halfway is when I was like, okay, I'm kind of liking these one-offs. There's a really creepy alien story that I'm like, that's the one that sold me.
But real quick, Ross in the comments, RWB says that this is from Substack. So this is not. This is
okay.
This is cool.
Saying the same thing.
This was published back in 2021, I believe.
Which makes sense, because if he's doing Bigfoot, that was the Bigfoot arc in the main title. That was the stuff that was reprinted, I want to say, in the first hardcover.
Yeah, that's in the first hardcover. Bar, you missed all the Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn solicitations that Image was bringing out. That's what you missed. I haven't read a non-DC Marvel book in a long time. Well, wait a minute, you bought me the book that was printed by Image.
Didn't mean she read it.
Ooh.
She said she read it. That's why she bought it for my birthday. I bought a couple of the trade paperbacks when they were on sale. Haven't read any. Cool to hear it's coming back, though. I'm generally happy whenever any creator-owned series gets longer runs. Yeah, the what was Nice House on the Lake? That one's coming back for another round.
Nice House on the Sea. Can't wait for the Great House on the Ocean.
That was so good, man. I dug that one. Hey, what's up, Alex? How are you, buddy? And I'm sorry, I forgot to highlight this message right here. Look at my man being all knowledgeable and intellectual about nerdy things. I assume Hayden is, of course, talking about me. So you're welcome, Hayden. It's what I do. I'm just kidding. He's talking about Ben. What website are you using? Dom.
We're using comicreleases.com. We've got all of your solicitation info here from the publishers on a monthly basis. And again, we have a collected editions tab. If you want to see whatever's coming up for pretty much every single company, it's all there.
And of course, James has the link in the comments as if on cue. Good on you, James.
Yes.
Mr. Super Producer.
Thank you for that. Comic Releases right there. Okay, Department of Truth coming back. He was at the convention, and there was no way in hell I could get in that line. He was like a rockin' superstar with his Tiny Onion production. They were selling Tiny Onion merchandise, and he was there signing books. And my man has lost a lot of weight too. He's been eating right, and he was a big guy. Well, the last time I saw him, but now he's a smaller guy. So good on him. I'm talking about all three of you beautiful, beautiful nerds. Oh, thank you for that.
Oh, shucks, Hayden.
What's up, Richard? How are you, buddy?
What's up,
James
Richard?
is so quick with the links. I think he's AI. I don't think James is real either. I've seen his avatar. It's not real. It's not a real dude. Okay, buddy. What's up next, Dom?
We've got this series actually rounding out in contrast to the previous one, Firepower by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney. Hardcover, deluxe hardcover book 2, which again collects the second half of what's been, I feel like this book has been coming out for a pretty decent amount of time now. So
they've been coming out like that.
Yeah.
You know what's really interesting about this? Like I was told how good this series was by a lot of my viewers, and I went into it. Anytime somebody tells me that, I'm like, of course I'll check it out. But I go into every one of these series completely like with a fresh mind of like, okay, this isn't going to be good or it's going to be great. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting the best things. So when I was reading this, Kirkman to me is very hit and miss. I'm not a fan of The Walking Dead, but I do enjoy Invincible for what it was. Actually, it still is one of my favorite titles at Image. Battle Pope was ridiculously fun when it was coming out, but it kind of overstayed its welcome. Wolfman was awful. Tech Jacket, I've seen Guyver, and I'm like, okay, sure, this is cute. This one, it was one of those things that I'm like, there was nothing unique about it for me. But I still followed it because of Chris Samney's wonderful artwork and Matthew Wilson's colors on it. But it's like, you take Iron Fist and you throw in some video game stuff in there, anime, and you got yourself Firepower. That was how I felt about it. But someone said that the second arc goes a different route that I will still read it. So I'm curious what route it went, because it was pretty basic as it was coming out, or as I was reading it. What did you two think of the Firepower? If you've read it, if you haven't read it.
I think Firepower is one of the most fun series on on the stands. Mm-hmm. It's not groundbreaking. It's
mm-hmm.
Especially I've got my old Essential Iron Fist over here somewhere. I've got Deadly Hands of Kung Fu right behind me. I love those old Iron Fist stories, and
mm-hmm.
a lot of those same twists where it's just like, is UT a good guy, is UT a bad guy? can you trust the thunder? Like all of those like twists that we've had over time. You get some of this stuff here, but at its heart, this is like a really heartwarming story of family, all with some really cool kung fu action sequences. It goes a different way in the second half where it.
No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
No, I'm going to say it's bigger.
Okay.
So I think the first one is more sort of like a narrow story on the firepower itself and sort of where he fits in as the exile, and then the scope broadens for that second half and gets bigger. Dom, have you read this one?
I've read the first hardcover. I haven't gone past that one, and the main reason I wanted to check it out was because Chris Samney is one of my 5 favorite artists on this planet, and I have adored his art since his days with Mark Waid on Daredevil, and he still like got the heat that he had. It's been spiraling in for more than a decade now. There's always something fresh whenever I see one of the panels that he draws, and I think he's perfect for the book, which also makes me wonder, like, how on earth has he never written a Shang-Chi or drawn a Shang-Chi or Iron Fist comic that I've seen in my life? But I will always be there for Samney, no matter what project he's on. And apparently after this, he's doing something with Mark Waid, or he and Wade have teased about it. So
you just got me super excited. I love everything those two have done together. My point to Kirkman is hit and miss with me is I do love the fact that he's still a creator at heart, that he still wants to put books out there, because much like Jim Lee, he really doesn't have to do anything. He's running a company that's doing really well for itself, whether some of the IP has been sold into making movies or animated shows, whatever it is, it's doing really well for himself. He doesn't need to be writing anything. So I think that's really cool. I like that. And just like and I mentioned Jim Lee, of course, because he's the president of DC Comics, and if you want a full body sketch, it will cost you $35,000. So yes, he doesn't have to, but he will. Yeah, so I'm happy this is coming out, and I will continue reading it, and I'm glad that it's another deluxe edition. Big fan of those.
I agree 100% wholeheartedly.
Yeah, Noel had, when you're reading this one, Omar, I think Noel earlier in the chat, like this is the perfect description to go into it. Don't think this is going to be like comics that's going to change your world. It's just like, it's everything you want done really, really well.
That's the way I feel about Invincible. Like, I thought Invincible was super fun, and a lot of it has to do for me, like, again, the artwork, Corey Walker and Ryan Otley, I thought were just amazing on that book, and the colors, oh my gosh. And yeah, guys are getting their stomachs ripped out. It's so ridiculous and over the top. I find that fun, and I can see why people find this particular book fun. That's right, you do, Bar. Everybody loves Chris Sam. Well, no, I can't say that, because there are people that don't like that type of art style, and I get it. It's very almost cartoony, right? Like I can see people not digging it. The Jim Lee covers, the DM covers with DC and Marvels always look amazing. It is going to be tough to decide which one to get, like especially for that classic Perez. I saw the when I was at C2E2, I saw the big banner that he released with the artwork, and I love the black and white, and I hope that's what's underneath the dust jacket, because I wasn't sold on the colors. It's just I don't know what it was about the colors on the DM variant of Jim Lee's art. Does this finish out Power? I believe it. Dom said,
yeah, it is. It does.
Yeah.
There we go.
And another interesting original graphic novel, Heretic hardcover, art by Charlie Adlard, recently on the Boom book with Cy Sperrier on Damn Them All, and of course The Walking Dead. And this retails for $24.99 and comes out in August 5th of this year. Or sorry, October 16th of this year.
I really love that Image has been doing, and Dark Horse as well, doing these European type of albums, as my buddy Bunkmaster B said. because that's something that Jack Kirby always wanted to do when he was, when he came over to DC Comics from Marvel. That was like his vision that one day we would have these original graphic novel releases from comic book companies. And I thought that was really cool for back then to want it. And it took a long time for the American market to kind of catch on. I think Brubaker did a lot of that for the market, for Image, to be like, okay, you know what? We can release original graphic novels in hardcover format the way they do in Europe. So let's do it. And much like they do in Europe, they release them whenever they want to. Like, you could be waiting. Although I think we've gotten better, right? We've gotten better at like the amount, getting used to like those going from monthlies to every 6 months to maybe just once a year. Because in Europe, it always felt like, yeah, we'll release another volume whenever we get together. Could be a year, could be 4. I mean, I'm looking at you, Black Sad, but any Black Sad is good. Any Black Sad I'm happy with. And a lot of European albums are released that way. So it's really cool to see more and more of American companies do this. As a matter of fact, like, I'm sure you two probably know, like, Abrams Books now can publish. This is really interesting because I got to talk to their marketing and PR person there, that they can publish original graphic novels for Marvel Comics, which is why they did that Fantastic Four and why they did the, what's the book that they came out with last year? Was it Kirby book or Stanley book? I can't remember, because I thought that was really interesting. That, oh, you guys are publishing Marvel graphic novels? And they said yes, as long as it's an original graphic novel. And no, unfortunately, there is no page count. Image doesn't supply us with page counts.
I believe this is 120 pages, though. I believe it's 120 because I saw this on whatever the regular Penguin, not Penguin Random House Comics, but the regular Penguin. They just don't supply it on solicits. I wish they did.
See, I just assumed that the page count is in a superposition right now where it's both simultaneously no pages and all the pages. And until we observe it, we don't know.
What is next?
I want to add, though, Omar, to this. I do appreciate that they are trying to push these original graphic novels out more than just the standard. Because Brubaker and Phillips can put one out, whenever they want to.
Thank you, James.
They're Ed Brubaker and they're Sean Phillips. Like, of course, like, people are going to buy it. They already have the name and the star power to bring people in, because that's just how they push out their books. So getting to do it with other creators that aren't them, it's a nice experimentation that I hope they continue to do, and a lot of other smaller indie publishers also continue to push out and do that format. Not counting Brubaker and Sean.
Excellent.
And an interesting one, Invincible Complete Library Volume 6, and this rounds out the Invincible Library editions with the big format, the slipcase, the everything. Retails for $125, and it comes out solicited for the 31st of July. And man, this again finishes and rounds out everything to the very, very popular and mainstream Image series.
I love it. Now, really quick, whenever I did overviews of these books, my viewers were telling me like, oh, is this bigger? And some people show me pictures, and apparently the first printings of these books were smaller in scale, and even like the font doesn't match. So the ones that have been reprinted, at least the ones that I've gotten to show on videos, those look like they've matched to scale, like to the other ones that have been coming out, to the new ones. So what was the new one? 4, 5, and 6 will be the new ones, and they're reprinting 1, 2. I don't think I've seen 3 yet. I don't think that's out. So 3, if you find an old one, might still be a smaller scale slipcase, which is just kind of annoying because some people still have it in stock, and I worry that, hey, I want this to match, and I have 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and so has this in stock. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And then it comes in, and it's going to be the one that's like this compared to your other books that are like this. And I don't know. I mean, I hope it would be a different ISBN so retailers would know, because that can be a problem. I know for me, it would be like, I ordered this and it's like small compared to the other ones. What the heck is happening? And for people that don't know too, right? Somebody new.
Yeah, if I'm someone who's just watching the cartoon, I'm like, oh, I love Invincible, I'll buy that. Like, there's no way I'm checking the ISBN or even knowing like what to look for there.
Okay, I love Invincible, and I have a lot of money, so that's the other thing too, right? It's like it's $125. It's not just for everybody.
And I will say that most of the people that are getting into comics through Invincible and want to get the set usually typically don't come out for the libraries. I always go for the compendiums because there's just 3 of them, and you can easily buy all 3 at most spots, local comic shop, our online retailer, sponsor with cheap graphic novels, or wherever it's at, right? But yeah, I mean, 6 for 125. I mean, that's a lot of money that you're shelling out, and did not have them all in like uniform. Well, if you have 5 of 6 in uniform, I guess that isn't really a bad thing, but food for thought.
And I mean, it's also things like what was it? What's the big library edition that Dark Horse was putting out? Madman. Like Madman, there's going to be 6 of them, and you're looking at $100 each. Yeah, so that's something when you buy one, it's like, oh, now I got to get them all. And the other thing to note is that Image has been doing this for a while. They've been doing these limited to 5,000 copies on big books. They did that with Rat Queens, and I think it's both covers too. It's not just one cover. It's both the exclusive cover to DCBS and the regular cover.
Well, one of the things I was looking at in the listing here is in some of the stuff, like I think about the Remender solicits that we see for the Remender deluxes, like those just say limited to X amount of copies. This one right here is specifically telling us like there will be future ones. First printing.
Oh, first printing, yes.
Yeah.
But do the future ones come in a different size or a different something that will not match your other first printings? That's also the problem. I don't know
about it though. It's kind of brilliant. You in every printing you do a different size, so then people need to go back and they need to buy all the new printings to match that new size for the one volume that they missed. I mean, that's very, very Kirkman.
Oh well, I mean that's Marvel Comics that they do that with the spine changes. Remember? And I know for a fact some of my viewers were like, "Well, dumping these and getting more," and then others were like, "I'm never buying another Marvel Omnibus again." And others were like, I'll just get a custom dust jacket. I mean, it is true. There, as a collector, part of us wants everything with a uniform look. And damn it, when something changes, it sucks.
I got so many Daredevil. Like I got the Daredevil Omnis on my shelf. Like looking at them, it's like all of them are different font scaling and sizes for the logo. So, it may be just a me. I don't mind it as much as others, but man, when something looks like the same on each and every single part of your shelf, you're just like, that looks really good. It's also great for the shelfie photos too. Like people want to see those. People like, oh, what does your comic collection look like? They see, oh, everything's lined up perfectly.
So I gave up that fight a long time ago. And if you ever want to collect manga, you give up that fight because especially if it's like old manga, dude. I've got so many copies of Tankobons that are like. Volume 21 is just stands out for some reason. The publisher wanted to try the logo up at the top instead of the bottom, just for that one volume. Then they're like, we'll move it back to the bottom, whatever. It just, but I know some people it does really, really bother. All right, what's next? It's a huge, man. That's a lot of deluxe hardcovers for these solicits.
And you got a signed.
There is also a signed edition. Yeah, I don't know who it's signed by, and I've asked my contacts at Skybound. I'm pretty sure it's Kirkman and Otley, but. I mean, what is that? $50 more?
$50 more for 2 signatures.
And if you're not going to a convention, sure, this might be the way to go.
Absolutely. Philadelphia is returning with a continuing
Volume
to push
2.
out the deluxe. This is volume 2 of their deluxe edition line, retailing at $34.99 with a release date for August 14th.
It's signed by Kirkman's bank account representative for $50 more. I have all 74 volumes of Bleach, and only one of them has a different Shonen Jump logo at the top, and it annoys the hell out of me. Oh, dude, I have such a horrible story to tell about like why I bought a box set because of that. Like that's why you should never listen to me. That's why I don't give advice, financial advice. I bought a box set because I'm like, something very similar like that happened to was Naruto, I think. I'm like, I can't put up with this anymore. I'm gonna get that box sets. They look nicer anyway. And the box sets, they're not even, by the way, the box sets of Naruto, some stand up like this. You can put them up like this, or some of them are landscape size. So it's like you got them like this anyway on your shelf, like a freaking Tetris blocks. I feel like the people who designed DC's Just Jackets realize that we spend most of the time looking at spines, so they make it interesting to look at. One day Marvel will realize it as well. Yes, but it's not, unfortunately, across the board. Some of the DC spines are just, and it's not the people that are designing them at all, because sometimes they get, okay, I know for a fact, for one project, the designer of the actual art on board, I'm not going to say which project, was hired to do volumes 2, 3, and 4. Someone else did volume 1, and that volume 1 looks different from volumes 2, 3, and 4. Same thing happened to a particular Omnibus series where volume 1 looked a lot different than a volume 2. So there you go. Ta-da! I love this. Team Hunk Master V. Look at that. Thank you for the super chat, Elon. Hope you've been feeling better, buddy. Haven't seen you. Go ahead, Bunk.
Oh, I was just going to say, thanks, Elon. There's a little V for you. I do what I can with what I've been given.
Well, crap. You're right about Invincible Library 3 being a little smaller just compared to Just Trick. I'm sorry. I just wanted people to be aware when purchasing these books. And if you're about to complete your collection and you're like, oh, looks like so-and-so still has it in stock, I'm going to go and buy it. Be aware that they are different sizes. And I was told that after making my video, and then like in future videos, I reminded people though. Diplomatic about spines. Oh God, that was a nightmare that first week. I almost signed off the entire internet that week. Can you make any more stable content? Oh, I actually told a little bit of a story behind the scenes, and if something comes out of it, I will be happy to share it, because I need to thank one particular person for making it happen. But if nothing comes out of it, then yeah, I may share it still. Much better. Thank you. Good to hear that, buddy. Good to hear it. Oh yeah, DC have their design issues, but I still find. Oh, you like the design look of the spines better than DC. All overall, got you. I can see that, Bar. Most of my DC spines are more boring. Maybe you're not reading books like Poison Ivy, right, Bar? There's your perfect pitch. What's next, buddy?
After this, we got Port of Earth Deluxe Edition by Kaplan and Julia. Yes.
I love this series. I always warn people, it is like watching CNN, though. It's really boring at first. And even in my Hidden Gems video, I think I said that. Be forewarned, this is not for everybody. But I love different types of stories. And I thought Zach Kaplan's work on this and Andre Moody was just freaking awesome. I love the plot. I love the mystery. And I love the two main characters in this book. So I was really, really happy when this was announced. Interesting retail price of $45.99, though. I always find that really interesting when they were like, why didn't you just round it down to $44.99 or round it up to $49.99? Whatever.
Is this a reprint of an older one? I've never heard of this one.
No, this is taking the 3, and I think volume 2 is out of print. The 3 trade paperbacks, putting them together and putting them in the deluxe edition. This is a Top Cow book too.
Oh, okay.
I am very excited about this one. I would love to have the creators on to talk about this book because it's good. I dig it. But again, oh, look at James, my dude. Yeah, Port of Earth, NMC, Hidden my man. Oh, thank you so much for that, Hamza. Thank you. Love Honey ad. Oh yes, Near Mint Condition is not responsible for the type of ads YouTube decides to put on whatever. Keep that in mind, especially during the election year. I am not responsible for what kind of ads play in front of my video or in the middle of my video. But yes, very excited for this one. And if you haven't read it, I strongly suggest at least checking out the first trade paperback to see if it's for you, or watch my Hidden Gems video to see if the art is even for you. I have some viewers that could not stand this. One of my very good friends, Chris, we usually share the books in common that we both love, and he was like, "Oh man, what is wrong with you? This is boring as hell." So just check it out for sure.
We'll bring it back at some point. We will bring Hidden Gems back at some point.
Oh yes. This month. I just had to. There's a lot I need to do this month. Okay, what's next?
Spawn Origins, Volume 14 hardcover.
Damn, they're cranking out
14.
Yeah, this collects 164 to 176. Well, I mean, keep in mind though, there's 300 plus issues so far.
And I mean, there's enough material to go away. I just remember. It feels like it wasn't that long ago that it was like, yeah, we reprinted 1 through 5, and like that was where they ended. And apparently, I went in a coma for like 3 months, and they printed another 10 of them.
Todd Father's
no. You're thinking of the big editions. These are the deluxe hardcovers.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
These are the ones without the slipcase.
Yeah, these are the ones that are cheaper. The slipcase. Now, this was discontinued. So if you're new to like collected editions and you're just coming in like for the last 2 years, man, you're living in some good times, because this was like discontinued after volume 10. We didn't think anything was coming. I interviewed McFarlane. We talked behind the scenes. That was so freaking cool. And he was like, really, people want this stuff back? And I'm like, man, people love collected editions and not just trade paperbacks. So hopefully he'll reprint them, because he told me he was going to reprint. I still got his cell phone number. I'll give him a call and remind him to reprint them. He did reprint the big ones, though. You're right about that. He did reprint the big ones. Now, the big ones, nor these collect any of the miniseries like Angela, or any of the miniseries that took place during this time, or any of the ongoing series. Still hasn't been reprinted, though, like a Sam and Twitch deluxe hardcover. There was the Hellspawn deluxe hardcover, but those have not been reprinted. I don't know how those will be collected later on. And of course, you can go the cheaper route and do the compendium route. Compendiums are $50 to $60. They don't collect the covers, though, and they're standard size, of course.
I think they do collect about 50 issues each for each one, and I have a lot of.
They're huge.
They're big. They're big.
Personally, I think the best option, and probably the cheapest, is to just avoid Spawn altogether, and you'll have a better.
Oh my god!
But that's just me.
What? Okay, it's not for everybody. I get it. I get it. All right, what's next?
That brings us to the end of the hardcovers, and now on to the trade paperbacks. And Mr. Kyle Higgins and everyone from the Massiveverse with Radiant Black, etc. Volume 1, and this is a collection of 4 different series all put together in one. So you got Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, Dead Lucky, and Inferno Gold Red as a taste. What are the samplers? One of those sampler books. This retails for very cheap price of $9.99 with an in-store date of July 10th of this year.
Always an Instigator saying that it will come back. The book I was just talking about, the Sam and Twitch hardcover, on July 19th. So if you're interested in that, please keep an eye out for that book and don't miss out on it. I have something to add about this. So skip Spawn and read Faust. Okay. Faust, the Kickstarter, came and went. It had a little bit of a for retailers to order. and some of those orders were canceled. So the hardcover came and went. They are releasing a trade paperback of the complete of what that hardcover was. And I actually talked to Tim Vigil, who was the artist at the time on Faust. And yeah, no hardcover reprint. Like, I was like, look, a lot of my viewers really want it. It was really hard for the retailers to order it. Is there any way that you guys could put it through Diamond? Like, even just like a limited run, and I could announce it on a video, like, hey, there's only 1,000 coming back, go and get it. And he was like, no, go and buy the trade paperbacks. That's exactly how the conversation took place. I was like, okay, have a good day. So, and maybe he doesn't know that there is a want for these type of stories to be collected in hardcover format. So the retail hardcover does have a different cover than the Kickstarter hardcover. So it sucks that it's not going to be available in hardcover, but at least it is coming back again in a trade paperback collection. So Massive, this is part of the Radiant Black universe. It's fun. I really dig it. This is my type of fun too. As Bunkmaster B was talking about when talking about Fireproof, I like this kind of stuff too, and just the world building that's going on. All these wonderful creators that have helped him out.
Well, and especially like it, for people who are like myself, big fans of the Boom Studios Power Rangers title. Kyle Higgins was the one that kicked that off. He moved here. He brought a lot of sort of the talent that's worked on that on.
Oh, they're the same people.
On titles too. Yeah. So Ryan Parrott is
Ryan Parrott, Power Rangers. Yep.
Yep. He's the one who's writing Rogue Sun, and I think Dom is Deadlucky. Is that Melissa Flores? I know
Melissa
she's written.
Flores,
yeah. Who's the current writer on the title right now? So basically, it's like if you love Boom Power Rangers and you want more in a different sandbox, check this out.
I've always joked to people that this is pretty much like, what if Kyle Higgins owned the Power Rangers and he did whatever the heck he wanted to with that property, but actually owning it. This is that. Granted, different-ish premises. Like I've read, I got one of the hardcovers from the Kickstarter, the Inferno Go Red. I really dug that. Wonderful art by Erica DeUrso, but if you're looking for just a fun, like Bunkmaster B said, but fun sandbox with a bunch of brand new heroes, I mean, you got to pick this up. Any of them. Like I've enjoyed all the titles I've read.
I really like this universe. And you're right. I like how fun it is. It has a little bit more of an adult theme than the Power Rangers that Boom did. But then again, those stories are restricted to what Hasbro at the end of the day wanted. And now who's the Playmates? I think it's a license holder, I believe, of Power Rangers.
So Boom, it's weird where it's like Playmates.
It is a really weird time.
It's a limited license where it's like they Playmates is specifically toys and a few other things. It sounds like Boom is still able to print things. So that was the big thing, is they announced that the current iteration of Power Rangers is going to be ending. But and people thought it was going to be with that license, but there's more that's come out that looks like they're pulling a TMNT. There's going to be a relaunch. Boom's still going to be able to print and reprint Power Ranger stuff in that form.
That's really interesting. Okay, because they just relaunched the series, and now we're gonna have a Crisis on Infinite, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which I guess was kind of what they did in the Shattered Grid.
Yeah, Darkest Hour that's going on right now feels a lot like.
Oh God. Okay, whatever.
They'll get Dan Moore to draw it, and it'll be all fun, and we'll have a fun time.
Well, thank you, Logan and Hamza, for being here. They mainly get Marvel and DC books, but they just like hanging out. I just love hanging out with you all too. What's next after the sampler?
Antarctica Volume 2 trade paperback, which collects the second arc of the ongoing Antarctica series by Simon Burks and Willie Roberts. This retails for $19.99 with a release date of July the 17th, 2024.
Okay. Haven't read Volume 1, so I don't know much about this one. Anybody got anything to add? No. Okay, moving on.
This one, I know a lot of people have with some words.
Oh, look at that cover. Woo.
Fatal Compendium trade paperback. This collects the entire 24-issue series of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips's Fatal. This will retail for $59.99 with, again, the same in-store date of July the 17th of this year.
This one hurts. We all thought we were getting that reprint of the OHC.
Two hardcovers.
It seemed like in Brubaker's newsletter, he was hinting it was happening, and I mean, it's cool that the story is getting back out there, but it's not what we were looking for. And yes, Bar, that is a cover.
But if you had read the story, it makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah.
It's such a good story. It's one of my favorite Brubaker and Phillips collab. It's definitely up there with like their stuff on Sleeper and Seemingly Crime and of course Criminal. But oh, dude, yeah, it's solid. It's good. It's good. I'm glad that people are getting to read it, and they probably know that, right? Like just talking to the different creators and knowing how Image runs. Image wants a certain number, and if that number is there, then they'll think about hardcovers, meaning the importance of this book selling to them is up here for them to get the hardcovers going again.
That means we got to get Jess to buy 5 copies of this so we can get 2 deluxes.
I mean,
probably forgot he owns the hardcovers.
Looking at the chat, it looks like Bar might be buying 5 copies as well. I think we got.
It's a good. It's a good standalone story. Everything you need is in here. It takes place in the 50s. It's got noir, that crime noir feel to it, but it's so much more than that.
If you're thinking those tentacles are looking a little Lovecraftian,
yep.
Yeah. What's up, Adorable Brett? How are you, buddy? Excited for the compendium more than the hardcovers, to be honest. Yeah, there are people that just love the compendiums. Not a stickler for HC, so compendium version for me is fine. Love it. Never read Fatal. Good. So many people reading it for the first time. I'm judging a book by its cover with this. Definitely don't do that with Trouble. All right, what's next?
Oh man, we
were having such a fun time. Why?
Ice Cream Man? 10?
No, Trouble.
Why Trouble?
Have to go into
I need to put that out. Yeah, I forgot. I need to. Oh gosh, I need to write that down right now so I don't forget. What's next?
Ice Cream Man, Volume 10 trade paperback. This is collecting another arc of Ice Cream Man, issues 37 through 40. And this is coming out on the 24th of July, retailing at $16.99.
So
I can't believe we're only 10 volumes in.
You can see an original page right there.
Oh,
so you're a big fan of Ice Cream Man?
Yeah, anything that W. Maxwell Prince is writing, I'm buying sight unseen. His Swan Songs that he did last year was one of my books of the year. It's the book has been consistently great, throughout all this time.
What page is that, by the way? What issue is it from?
So that let me just grab it.
You don't have to take it down. Too late. All right. Well, now I gotta hide it.
Anyways,
let me get rid of the message. Oh, that's awesome.
So that's issue 21 page, one of the early pages. It's the telethon issue if anybody's read it. Really fun.
That is exactly what this means. Is it still continuing past issue 40?
Yeah, it's an ongoing. Nothing has changed with it. I don't think we're ever going to see like a ramped on arc. It's a passion project for both of them. It's on an irregular publishing schedule at this point, so I think it's basically going to be just like, when they want to stop telling stories, they'll probably give like an actual plot issue, and until then, we're just going to continue getting issues when they can get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. What's next? DomofX.
Up next is Kill Your Darlings. This is a series by Ethan S. Parker and Bob Quinn. Bob Quinn, who I know from Cy Spurrier's Nightcrawler saga with Way of X.
Yeah.
This collects the entire series, issues 1 through 8, retailing at $19.99, and with a release date of July 10th, 2024.
I love that title, Kill Your Darlings. I think any writer, right? Anybody that's ever written, that's something you don't get too comfortable with is your favorite characters. Sometimes you just gotta off them. So I'm curious what this is about. Like with titles like that, I don't even really like reading the synopsis. I'm like, okay, have you either of you read this series or have heard about it?
I've seen it show up in solicits, and I've had that same. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I'll check that out when it comes out. So I'll be reading this when the trade drops.
Cool. What's next?
Last Man, original graphic novel, book 5, which collects volumes 9 through 10 of the French fight comic. This is going to retail for $24.99 with an in-store date at July 17th, 2024.
Okay, I've not read Last Man. I think. Man, these titles are starting to sound the same now. Last Man. Read the first issue of Kill Your Darlings and I liked it. Okay, good. I'm in. Kill Your Darlings is a KLC press book, Stegman and Kate's imprint. Oh, they're still doing books? Wow, that's cool. Oh, shoot, I loved Ultra Mega. That was one of my favorite books I read that year. When was that? 2020, I think? 2021? So good, especially if you like kaiju.
I think that's coming back in October, actually. I'm excited.
Is it
for that.
good?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It is a French comic getting imported over here by Image. Huh. Must have a big fan following in order to get it over here. Or I wonder how they worked out that deal. Maybe the people in whoever the publisher is in France gets to print Image comics, and that's kind of the deal they worked out.
Next, we've got Space Mullet by none other than DWJ Daniel Warren Johnson. It's going to retail for $19.99, and it's coming out July 10th.
I did I think it was last year, I did a hidden gem and added this one on there because I was a big fan and I was kind of hoping, Daniel Warren Johnson would come back to the book one day. This was an original web series, and then I think it was Image, or it might have been Dark Horse.
Dark Horse was the first printing.
The original publisher? Yeah. And now it's Image coming out. And I think this one actually has more, right, Ben?
It does. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not collecting everything that he's put out from Space Mullet. When he was talking about it on your stream, I think it's going to be missing at least the last chapter. But for anyone who's curious about this, you can actually still go read this for free on the website. And it's this amazing time capsule because you could still see all of the news posts that he's putting on there, and you can watch DWJ's career sort of expand as this is going on. If you get some time, I would definitely suggest doing that and then also buying this because it's a wonderful story. You can also see his art progress crazy through it.
That's what I love looking at this stuff. Yeah, super excited for this one, especially if you're a Daniel Warren Johnson fan. I'm honestly surprised that they did not go the hardcover route. And I know not everything needs to be in hardcover, but when you have a name like Daniel Warren Johnson, who is pretty big right now and keep getting bigger and bigger, I'm surprised they didn't go with a bigger format for this one. We got the Extremity book coming back. We got Extremity, or now coming back in a hardcover. And then we have the Extremity Artist Edition. He's the writer on Transformers and artist. Well, not anymore. But, and it seems like he's a hot commodity. People want to work with him. So.
Put it out.
Just the title Space Mullet titles my redneck DNA. Hells yes. Hey, very high for Space Mullet, an affordable version. Yeah, it's been out of print for a while. What's next, Dom?
Spawn, or this is the Scorch series, volume 4, which collects issues 19 through 26 of one of the Spawn offshoot series. It's retailing for $16.99, and it's coming out on July 10th.
Bar was asking this question: is there anybody out there who knows why the Something's Killing the Children deluxe edition skips 6 issues? And I think Noel has you the flashback arc.
Yeah, that's going to be the stuff that comes out along with the House of Slaughter side series.
Mhm.
I haven't read any of Scorched. I didn't even know John Layman was writing it. That's really cool. That's really cool. I wonder how they're going to collect the spin-off series too of Something's Killing the Children.
We'll probably come out with a deluxe edition of the offshoots at some point with the slipcase.
So what happened? Okay, I know this is off topic, but what the heck happened to Chew? I was really excited when it was coming back, and then it just stopped. Why did it stop? Did he go and focus on Spawn? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Everybody got to eat. I'm late to the party, but Volume 3 of Invincible Library Edition is smaller than the rest. Do not buy it until reprint. It's also cream white color instead of bright white like the others. Thank you so much, Bernie. Yeah, Bruce was commenting on that earlier. Wait, Spawn will never go away. Never go away. All right, next.
Super Dinosaur Compendium Volume 1 by Robert Kirkman and Jason Howard. This will collect the 23-issue series of Super Dinosaur and the Origin Special one-shot. It's retailing for $34.99, and it's coming into stores on the 10th of July as well.
Sure, looks fun.
It's a Kirkman side series. It's if Kirkman writing Super Dinosaur is the kind of thing you want, here's the book for you.
Could go the route of Invincible. Could go the route of a Wolfman. Who knows? Or if you like it, then yeah. Not just a great dinosaur. That's right.
Super Dinosaur.
I'm more of a dinosaurs for hire kind of guy, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, the villain in Invincible was Dinosaurus, right? Wasn't he? That was his name. All right, what's next?
Tales of the Unnamed, the Blizzard. This is a spin-off, or not the spin-off. This was collected in the one-shots of the Image 30th. These were short stories written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Andrea Moody.
I forgot that Moody did the artwork on that. I love his art. The dude is killer.
Me too. So yeah, $14.99, 24th of July.
Okay. Does that wrap up Image?
And not yet, as we have another Spawn Origins volume. This is volume 29 of the trade paperbacks, which collect issues 173 to 178 of Spawn, $16.99, and it's coming out on the 24th of July as well.
Okay. Yep. Excellent.
And that is it for Image Comics. And now,
all right, now what are we moving on to?
We're on to Dark Horse.
Dark Horse, yes. Hardcovers. Show me what you got. The Art of Cuphead show. Oh, the show. I was gonna say they did the video game 2 years ago. The Art of the Cuphead video game, which is a lot of fun. I've not seen the show, surprisingly. Spawn has no end or beginning. Spawn is. That sounds like the freaking Spawn.
I mean, just listen to the word Spawn. Like,
sure.
Definition.
Have you guys played the game?
I never have, and I need to, because it old-timey run and gun, hard. It like everything about it, I'm like, yeah, the game seems totally up my alley. And just as a parent of young kids, if it's not a game they want to play, I don't typically get to play it, except for like once a week, and just hasn't made its way through the backlog yet. Did you play it, Tom?
I have not yet, no. But it seems like a game I should get to around at some point for the same reasons that you mentioned.
Don't play it with your kids. It will drive them insane. Yeah. It is freaking difficult.
Dad, can we do something else? No. I've almost got the boss's pattern. I probably need like 15 more tries.
No. Screw that. Play it with your kids. Teach them that life is not that simple. Man, there's nothing. I know this is completely off topic. I just haven't done a live stream in a while. Well, no, I did one Saturday. Anyway, I'm tired of these Mario games that if you die 5 times, they give you a P-Wing, a gold P-Wing. I was like, what? What lesson is that showing your child? That if you fail enough, they give you the easy way out? No, that's not the way that life works, and that's not the way we did it back in the 80s.
Someone who's played Mario games religiously, I can tell you that. I've died many times trying to figure out, can I just get my way
Can I
out?
just fly through this level? That's not the way this works. Oh, nothing makes me madder than stuff like that, man.
Don't
Play
pretend
Cuphead with
like
Free
you can-
in.
Don't
Free
pretend
in.
like those early Mario games you couldn't just skip most of it and go right to the end. What
Oh
kind of
no, I
lesson
was
you talking
I,
about
I
if
was
you're
one of these
double
guys that was like,
whistling?
I'm gonna go through every level. Like even when the warp whistle was introduced in Mario 3, yeah,
Mhm.
I still played every level because I like this. I like to defeat the bosses. Now, granted, I wish I could skip more in like the original. Oh no, I did. I would skip levels in Mario 1 because it was.
Oh
the
yeah,
same
because that
boss
was you
every
go up and
time, right?
over, and then in the second one you go to 5, and then if you
But
skip
man,
over one, you go there.
Cuphead has got beautiful like hand-drawn
Oh, yeah.
animation, but it is hard. Like I love it. I love it that it's difficult. So yes, play it with your kid. That's not the way we did it back in the 80s. Okay, Grandpa. What? The 80s wasn't that long ago, guys. It was only 20 years ago, right? 20. All right, Art of Cuphead. Moving on. Thanks for making
That's
me
how
go
old
on
I
a
am,
tangent.
Omar. Anyways. 10, Volume 3, Children of Fire by Richard Corbin.
Love
Third
it.
volume for mature readers. This is retailing for $34.99. It is oversized as well.
I love it. Give me some of that Jose Villarrubia colors on Richard Corbin's artwork. It's great, man. Love this stuff. There was a little bit of an issue with the I think it was volume 2. But I think it is coming back. It had to be delayed a little bit. Dom is 20 now. I know what it feels like to be old. To be Omar old. What the hell? Richard Corbin. How do I pitch Richard Corbin? It's surreal. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Does it make any sense? No. Does it need to? Not really, because you're in love with the artwork. I love this stuff. It's a surreal, like heavy metal type of story.
I was gonna say that looks just like a Dio album cover. I look at that and just being like, yeah, I'd listen to that. What, you want me to read it? I think
Next.
Omar may have forgotten he's on mute.
Oh, he's on mute.
Oh, I think he's talking to someone off screen. Scroll on down. What do we got next?
Good. Oh, we got a very big hit classic by none other than Matt Kent himself from his own studio. If you find this, I'm already dead. This is another oversized hardcover, retailing for $29.99, 120 pages, and this collects the 4-issue miniseries.
Well, you had me at Matt Kent. I love his stuff. So,
But it's not him working with Tyler Jenkins. Like that's another team that like they're always put together, and especially with coming out from his own studio.
And this is this going to be an
it's oversized.
Oh, thank you, Dark Horse. They give you the dimensions. I was going to say, I thought they did. Okay, cool.
Good job, Dark Horse. Woo!
Aiden, easy now. Just read this. Amazing, short but awesome. Oh, I can't wait to read this then.
I mean, it's Matt Kent. Like,
say
Matt
no
Kent.
more. Say no more. Say no more. Go on down. What else we got?
Quick Stops by none other than extraordinaire Kevin Smith and art by Ahmed Rafat. This is $24.99. Standard size hardcover, 104 pages, and it collects the second Quick Stop series, issues 1 through 4.
Oh, this is a good question. Sell me on Matt Kent. It looks interesting, but there are like 7 different formats of most of his stuff. Matt Kent's writing style is very reminiscent of, like, to me, what Jeff Lemire was doing. But less Canada, less hockey jerseys. More almost like a crime noir or dark stories going on. I have been a big fan of his stuff for a long time, and he, honestly, I really thought he would blow up by now, like how big like Jeff Lemire got. I'm surprised Matt Kent isn't like that, like, or maybe he's just not wanting to do work for the big two as much as like Jeff keeps going back to them.
I feel like Kent's a pretty big name right now. I mean, he He
Revolver was a
Yano.
masterpiece. That's the one that
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is good. That book was so good.
Yeah, when I think of Matt Kent, Jeff Lemire is obviously like the big name that you kind of think of with that, but I think he's a little bit lighter and he's a little bit more humorous with most of his stuff. Like Lemire can be like very dark and very dense. Not to say that there isn't some levity in there, but Lemire, it's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna unfold this story for you. Whereas like Kent, you get a little bit more sort of surrounding it. There's usually some humor. You know, they and actually they worked together on Cosmic Detective that came out a little while ago.
Yeah, there was a Kickstarter for that, right?
Yep. And then last year, Image just mass market the trade paperback. David Rubin on art, amazing. Go check it out. Very Kirby inspired.
Revolver was great. What was the other one he did for Boom? Grass Kings? Was that what it was called? That was awesome.
He did Grass Kings. He did Black Badge on with Boom. Both of those with Tyler Jenkins.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was Tyler Jenkins. I will say, unlike Lemire, like with Lemire, anytime he gets a new book out, I'm like, okay, I gotta get my tear ducts ready because I know by the end of this, somebody ain't making it, and I'm gonna be bawling my eyes out. With Matt Kent, I never know what to expect. I'm like, time traveling story. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, an idiot spy. Got it. Okay, awesome. Like, I never know what to expect when it comes to that stuff. So,
He also did some really good stuff with Valiant back in like the mid 2000s.
And I totally
did a cool Ninjak run.
Yeah. So he's a solid creator. I have nothing to add about Quick Stops. I read the first volume and it was just okay. And I love Kevin Smith like movies, and I'm a big fan of his Green Arrow run, and I don't hate his Batman as much as my buddy Omnidog. His Black Cat, I think, finished, and it was not that great. Bullseye was fun. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
I love Clerks the animated series. I would hope this is just
me too.
Clerks the animated series was so good.
Yeah.
Granted, he was limited to what he could do with it, but yeah.
I mean, the first episode they showed was a flashback episode that no one had ever seen to a pilot that like no one saw. Brilliant, infuriating if you're watching it for the first time and you don't know what to do.
But I don't know. If you like Kevin Smith, maybe. I just don't. It was pretty unfortunately like forgettable for me. It just didn't do anything. He did another one called, what was it? Was it Masquerade, I think?
The Masquerade,
yeah. What's next?
Coming up next is Jeff Darrow's and Dave Stewart's Shaolin Cowboy, Cruelly Spirit, Silent but Deadly Edition, coming out in very big hardcover. This is $49.99 with 256 pages of content collecting the issues 1 through 7 without the lettering.
Have you guys read Hero Trade? I have not read that, Dan. Thank you for bringing that attention to it. So he's working with Lapham? That's awesome.
I was bad idea when that came out. So I didn't get to that one, but I read ENIAC and some of the other, like Whaleville and some of the other stuff that he did.
Dude, Shaolin Cowboy, you go into this for the artwork. It's another one that it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter. Cowboy. He was trained in the martial arts. That's all you need to know. Sometimes he fights robots. Sometimes he fights dinosaurs. Sometimes he's fighting other cowboys. But that artwork, it's so good. And in a big format, hell yes. Give it to me.
Is this library size?
No. Yes, actually it is. And I will say this. If you like his art and you're trying to find them, those first few are just out of print. I missed out on them too. Because I thought, this is back when Things from Another World would have sales all the time. And they would sell the Hellboy library editions for about $10, sometimes $8. And I was like, I'll just wait for this to come. I had no idea. I waited too long and now they're gone. So when they come out, those hardcovers usually go out of print pretty quick. I will say that. But
not to have promo or anything, but
I ain't getting a slice of that cake. I'm just saying, if you're interested in that Darrow artwork, it's so good, man. Oh yes, the talking iguana. Yeah, big part of the story. Move on. Por favor, Dom.
Yes.
Trigun Deluxe Edition. Hopefully, this series doesn't get pushed back.
Do
A
we
little more
finally think
bu-
this is when it's happening? Because it was supposed to be November last year, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we got a date now for the 3rd of September. This is going to retail for $49.99. It's going to be 704 pages, and hopefully, it will come out on this solicited time frame.
Something did happen that I am not at liberty to say. It's up to Dark Horse to announce what happened if they ever want to, which is causing the delays. So I hope it does come out though, because I love deluxe editions. I'm not going to lie though, the action in this is near impossible to follow. I don't care how big the art gets. It's just his art style. I love Trigun. I love the designs, but when it gets to them dudes fighting, like it's near impossible for me to like. Maybe I'm too old. I'm like, oh, I can't follow any of this. What the hell's happening? Oh, okay, good guy won. Got it. Good. I think it's his layouts and just the way the crazy angles that he uses is just sometimes fighting sequences are near impossible to follow.
I feel like that was the case more on the Maximum series that followed like the original. Like that's where I think it started to get like a little bit weird.
This is a Maximum. This is still the original.
Yeah, we still have not had the like the regular like the two fat Tonkabons.
I thought the original 3 was going to be released. Wasn't it April? I guess the delay went back. When does it say now?
September.
Okay.
5 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
more so, but it still happens here. It does happen here, especially with like whenever you're seeing Wolfwood showing up. It's insane. I love the art, but yeah, it's a little hard for me to follow. Maybe the deluxe edition would help. I don't know. We'll see.
Could be a future video.
Okay, there's Maximum.
I thought Maximum. It's the same release date. $49.99 as well.
I can't believe. Never mind. I'll just keep quiet. Cool. Collecting Maximum 1, 2, and 3. What else? What else is down there?
And we talked about a couple months ago as well. Mark Millar.
Yeah.
Myth Wanted and Big Game coming out in Big Library Edition. Maybe this is why Marky Mark went over to the Dark Horse to push this out. But this collects both series, and man, I can't believe it.
Dude, the fights make no sense, but somehow they are still awesome. Is exactly the blurb I want on the back of that Trigun Deluxe Edition. Oh no, it's a Deluxe Edition. You can't get a blurb on the leaflet. The leaflet. Even whatever, however you feel about Mark Millar's writing, I think it's so badass that they are putting different stories together in a library edition. I wish the big two would do things like this. Oh, it's the same creator. These stories have really nothing to do with each other. Or maybe they do. Let's put them together in one big edition. So that's really cool that they're doing that stuff. J.G. Jones is a phenomenal artist. Love his stuff. And then Pepe Larraz, man, ever since he went on. Well, I guess the House and Powers of X really blew up his name. Like, people really got to know his art.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, I wish people saw his stuff like back then with Duggan on Uncanny Avengers and with Remender on the virtual graphic novel they did, the Avengers one. That I can't remember.
No, this is their first library edition with Mark Millar's work, right?
Yes.
Cool. So that means more will come. That means more will come.
Indeed. Now for the trade paperbacks. Ask for Mercy, Volume 2 with Comicraft's own Richard Starkings.
Great letter. Of course, he's done stuff like
fantastic letter. Yeah, one of the best ever. And Abigail Jill Harding
forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And this collects seasons 3 and 4 of the Comixology original series.
House of X. They already do. You always hate those. No. Creator-centric books. That's what I know what you mean. But I mean, putting two different miniseries together with the same team, like all these little miniseries that I hate missing out on that no one will ever read. Like put Shatterstar with X-Force is what I want to see, or put the limited series. Oh damn it! What was that limited series called from Superman? With Steel, things like that is what I wish both of them would do. Marvel and DC.
You say that, and then you're going to have to do a reading order on them, and you're going to be like, God, why did Marvel do this? Now where do I put it?
Well, because then as long as it's in a big oversized hardcover, I don't care. I can do it, sure. I'll draw a map out.
I'm going to be Charlie from It's Always Sunny, and you're like, oh well, you see, it's pretty easy to follow. You just go ahead and you do the string here, and just
There's no Pippi Sylvie. Sylvia. Oh my God, we just listened to their podcast. We love that show so much. As for Mercy 1 was fun. I dug it. So excited to keep reading more. This is collecting seasons 3 and 4, $29.99, 312 pages. I prefer character-centric collections, as long as it's done in a good reading order. What about you guys? Creator-centric or character-centric? What do you prefer?
I mean, chronological is my favorite, but I'm someone that follows creators way more than I do characters. So, like we were talking about before there about, the Marvel Universe by X. Like if they did one of those for, say, Warren Ellis, and it had like Next Wave and it had his Thunderbolts and just a bunch of kind of the odds and ends, even if it didn't necessarily fit anything, I'd be all about that. You could throw his Moon Knight in there like that. I would be so happy with a book like that. And I would buy like, one of the only 5 copies sold.
And that's the problem with some of those books. Hey, Kane, how are you?
What's up, Kane?
What's up? That's a good question.
All right, moving on.
Let's see. Creepy Archives, Volume 8. This is 312 pages, retailing at $24.99. Another one of these oversized trade paperbacks. This is going to collect issues 37 through 41 of Creepy Archives.
Yeah, these are great. They're cranking them out. You don't see them reprinting the hardcover. C2E2 was great. I'll probably be talking more about it on Saturday. Absolutely. Give me chronological issues. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, though. When you have creator-centric books, you're going to do some double-dipping, major ones. But how long until we get to the Mark Grunwald era, though? I mean, it's going to be a while, right? We got to go through the J.M. DeMatteis stuff. Yeah. Oh, man. The Stern, not that lasted a long time. Yeah, it's going to be a while before we get there. Yes, Creepy. Seal of approval. I love those books. Not as good as EC, but the Warren stuff is solid.
Mm-hmm. Next, we got Chul. I cannot say that. I've never been able to say that.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It just phonetically sounds weird whenever I try to. But anyways.
Hey, Dom, dude, this is English, man. I'm with you. Hey, man, you put vine and yard together and you get vineyard. I'm still tripping about that, but whatever.
I mean, cupboard, like you put cup and board together. It's cupboard, not cupboard. I always thought it was cupboard since I was like,
I parked my car in a driveway. What the hell is going on with this language? Anyway, that's a story for another day. Let's keep going.
Cthulhu Cat, 136 pages for $14.99. Those tiny, well.
Yeah, those cute little Cthulhu.
Little digest side. Oh, yeah. Nothing cuter than unknown eldritch horror. Oh, just adorable.
Adorable. I agree. Next
up is the EC Archives, Tales from the Crypt, Volume 4.
Oh, man. Go get these if you haven't read any of the Tales from the Crypt. Oh, they're so good. Haunt of Fear, Vault of Horror. Some of the best comics out there. Cool. No, that was a crime story. Never mind. But yeah, part of the reason why we did have the Seduction of the Innocent and the Comics Code later on. Yeah. It's classic stuff.
More classics. Eerie Archives, Volume 7. with Doug Mensch down there too. You got issues 32 to 36 of the magazine issues, and this is retailing for $24.99 at 288 pages.
So there was Eerie and Creepy and Vampirella, but Dynamite owns the Vampirella archives.
And a new original. Oh, this is not a original graphic novel. This is issues 1. Holler, issues 1 through 8 of Holler is collected in this, written and drawn by Jeremy Massey. This is 288 pages for $29.99.
I've not heard of the series.
I've never heard of it either.
This is first time hearing.
Definitely have to read it. It's issues 1 through 8, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Original story of grunge, rebellion, and friendship. Grunge, that's up your alley, Bunkmaster.
I mean, I'm looking at I'm gonna like that book.
That's how I used to dress in high school. I'm gonna love it. Awesome.
I mean, fair.
I'm sorry, I was making an assumption.
I mean, I grew up in the 90s in backwoods Vermont. I mean, like, it's not.
Oh, then this was so you.
Yeah. It was like, like all of like I was an indie kid, I was a punk kid, I was like all of those. I'm like, yeah, I would like to relive my youth. I'm not old. This is still me. I'm still that guy. So yeah, I'm all about this.
Okay, yeah. Keep on moving.
And keep your hands off of Ezuken Volume 7.
Yeah, I just started reading the first few volumes. Dark Horse was kind enough to send me because they sent me a volume 6. I was like, I guess I could read this, but as you all know, manga is a lot different than Western comics. That if you go into a volume 6 of something, you're gonna be hella confused. So yeah, I went. They were kind enough to send me like the first 5, so it's good. It's cute so far.
Awesome.
I dig it.
Is this the kind of thing you'd give either to Alicia or Lydia, or is this more adult?
No, I don't have a problem with this one. My kids, everybody's kids are different. Like this or the next one. The next one's what is it? MDP Psycho, right? Or is it the Mob book? Dom,
what's up?
Can you scroll down?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Mob Psycho.
Yeah, I would not have a problem with them reading this stuff. This is the guy that did One Punch Man. This is fun. One punch. Can you be old if you're an ageless beauty? This is true. Thank you for that. Bunk, Kane's with you. Remender just posted a new Eric Wynn cover for Strange Girl reprint. Looks awesome. Is that Strange Girl going to be the original like hardcover, or is it going to be like a Strange Girl was never released in a library edition, was it?
No, I have the original hardcover. It's a deluxe size hardcover, but it's not the same as the black size.
Double dipping, here I come. If it's going to be released as a library edition. It's not even one of my favorite stories from him, but I'm in.
I had to buy it because I buy every one of the Remender oversized hardcovers. Like I have all of them, and it's the one that's just sticking out like a sore thumb on my shelf. It's like everything else.
Well, now you just got me excited. I'm reading Mato Seihei, No Slave. No, I'm not. How is that? Comics are like fine wine, better with age. Yes, and in bigger formats too.
In bigger formats.
What's next, buddy? What's going on?
Pathways, Chronicles of Tuvana, Volume 1. This is a young adult graphic novel. This is going to retail for 336 pages for $24.99.
Okay. Never heard of it. So
I feel like
it's a webcomic.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like Dark Horse is going in on kind of these like epic fantasies, that we really didn't see for a while. Now we've got Bird King coming out, and then we've got
King is so good too.
What's it was on your best of a few years ago. Win something.
Is it Numenaria?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interviewing those guys. I love that book so much.
Yeah. And it feels like fantasy comics are having a moment, and I'm so here for it.
Yeah, and Wins, man. If people haven't read it, it's one of the best fantasy books out there. Solid. The Sacrificers, Pathways, Chronicles of Tuvana. Wow. Okay, thank you for that, James.
There you go.
It is a
webtoon. Check that out after you check out Space Mullet.
Anything else from Dark Horse this month?
Rainier's Legacy. This is apparently a collection that has 7 different stories from Chad Corey. This is retailing at $19.99 at 304 pages.
Okay. You had me at 7 tales.
7 different
Oh, and
tales.
they actually go through each of the tales. Wow. Well, I don't want to read what it is.
I thought for a second it was going to be stories about going up Mount Rainier. I was like, hiking stories? Oh, I'm there.
Hiking. Next up is Savage Squad 6, written by Robert Venditti and Brockton McKinney, with art by Dulce Dalton. This is collecting the 4-issue miniseries, retailing at $19.99 at 120 pages, standard size.
I like Robert Venditti. I didn't know he was writing this book. So I'm in. Unnatural Order. Who's the publisher on Unnatural Order? Is that Image?
I got that.
I haven't read it.
Confused with Magic Order for a second. I was like, oh yeah, that's the new Malar.
Wait,
like, what?
No. Unnatural Order is Vault, right?
It's Vault, yeah. That's the Christopher Yo series.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a big fan of Vault. I like what they put out.
Awesome. Gotta give Vault's comics.
Hey Omar, just curious if you ended up getting more of the Hack Slash. I have volume 1, 2, and the extra. I didn't get 3 yet. Robert Venditti went on to do the. Was it Exo Man Award that he worked on? I thought it was something else.
Yeah, so Venditti, he was another one that came over with Bad Idea. He was it. I think he started the Exo Man of War run that Matt Kint went on to. He did a few books for Valiant. I want to say it was Exo Man of War that then that Kint picked up. But yeah, Venditti did awesome stuff with Vault.
Got it. All right, next up. I got you.
Next up is Spinal Cord, making it big in the music world. This is an original graphic novel, $24.99, 200 pages.
Okay. The members of the heavy metal band Spinal Cord dream of making it big. That's it. Okay. Can't help but think of Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap,
It's an
yeah.
amazing movie if you haven't seen it. What's the next book down there? Transplants.
This is another trade paperback, $19.99, 88 pages. So tiny thin trade. Retailing in and coming out September 24th.
Okay.
Organ donors.
Oh, hence the name. Vendetti's Hawkman was great. I agreed. This is Spinal Tap's my favorite documentary after X-Men First Class. What? Thanks. Yeah, I want to read Hack Slash, but couldn't decide on softcover Omnibus. I think the hardcovers are still available too, which I need to pick those up too. The ones that I'm missing.
Speaking of Hack Slash, shout out to Zoe's recent Back to School series, just finished up. Great stuff. Go check it out.
That's right, Zoe Deschanel, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Still new girl. She's
Why do you know that? Thorogood. Yes.
It's adorkable.
Adorkable. Oh God,
that was the word. That was the word.
Man.
Never watched a single episode, but I lived through that time. I remember how Zoe was like everywhere at that point.
You had me believing that you were in the grunge. Now I know. I know better now. What's the next book, Dom? What do we got?
Usagi Ojimbo by the man Stan Sakai, Volume 39, Ice and Snow. Which collects the series Ice and Snow, retailing at $24.99 at 144 pages. And to everyone who hasn't tried out Usagi Ojimbo, you guys have to do it at some point.
I love it. He sells limited hardcovers through his website. I know that. So I think this one will have a limited edition hardcover from his website, and then hopefully Dark Horse will put these in a Usagi Ojimbo collection again.
Is this a new miniseries that came out recently?
Yeah, new miniseries that came out not too long ago.
Nice.
Yeah. And last, but certainly not least, The World of Black Hammer Omnibus Volume 4 by Jeff Lemire and et al. $29.99 for 296 pages. This is a trade paperback because Dark Horse Omnibus, I have to keep reminding myself, these aren't the regular Omnibus hardcovers.
They're not hardcovers.
They're all trade paperbacks.
They are
Standard
soft,
size, just thick boys. But it's got Tyler Crook artwork, so I mean, yeah, you know, if you have another format, buy it again, just so you have more Tyler Crook artwork in your life.
And solid artist. All right, what's the next publisher we're looking at, Dom?
Next publisher we are going to look at is Boom Studios. And we are going to kick it off with Volume 3 of the aforementioned Matt Groom, as we were talking about earlier, on the third volume of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This isn't where you exactly want to start off if you are looking to get into PR, because this is a completely different team from the Kyle Higgins series that kicks it off with year one. But this is retailing at $75. And it is oversized, and they are well designed hardcovers as well. So,
not only do you not want to start here, this is the end of the Ryan Parrott era. So, like, you can jump in with what they call Book 1, where they split the series into Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. But this is the end of sort of everything that ties there. Not a good place to start. But if you have been buying them previously, you're already going to buy this.
Oh yeah, I love this series. I wasn't even into Power Rangers. I'm just a big fan of good stories, and it hooked me. Kyle Higgins, like, completely hooked me with his year 1, year 2, and then Shattered Grid. And the hardcovers were just, I thought they were well done and well put together. People were complaining that some of them, their stuff has come off the spine. I've never had an issue, and I know I've read Mighty Morphin year 1 and 2 a couple of times, and I've let one of my friends borrow them because they were thinking about getting those books. But yeah, big fan of this stuff.
I will add to that, Omar. I have the reprint of years 1 and 2 on my shelf, and I've read them a couple of times too, and they haven't given out on me or worn out yet. So
yeah, and I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm just saying mine haven't.
Right.
But I mean, there are flawed books out there, you know. When does Book 2 come out? Is Book 2 out already?
Next month.
Next month, yeah.
I asked the right place. Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. Thank you for that, Ben. Look at that.
Yeah, I've never had any problems with my mainline series, but I have found that the build quality on the Go-Go is a little bit worse. It's hard to see on Volume 2.
In Volume 1 of Go-Go, I remember when I held it up, I was like, oh, the glue, I think, is it the glue in this one?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on
Here, let me see.
but it looks way more like you can see the individual sections of pages that are bound together. You can see those making contact with the ribbon, whereas normally you would just see all of that in the glue and then a layer of glue directly on that. So it's still held up. I haven't had any issues with pages coming out with these, and these are some of my favorite books. I read them often, but it is one of those things that as I read through, I kind of look, I'm like, is this going to be the time?
I love these. And somebody was asking if this would be the best way to read Power Rangers in oversized format. It is the only way to read Power Rangers in oversized format.
Not just that, but they do a great job mapping.
They do.
Mostly.
There is some double dipping whenever you get to Necessary Evil Part 2. It's practically a lot of the things that you're getting into the Go-Go Power Rangers Volume 2.
This book is unnecessary. Don't buy this book. Don't be me.
Okay, well, it's got a couple things in there that's not in the Necessary Evil.
And one of them is super important because it's where a time jump goes on.
Yeah.
It's like, there are literally 5 issues. If you buy this, you are getting 5 issues that aren't contained in Necessary Evil 1 and 2. But one of them is super important.
They released the Lost Chronicles too, which is collecting stuff that was not previously in the series.
Yeah, it's the OGNs. It's not connected to any of the
only thing they didn't release was like the Pink Ranger miniseries.
So they haven't done Pink. They haven't done the Lord Draken series. I was actually just responding to a comment about this. Some of the stuff they've done with like the Coinless universe is undone, and then right now Amy Jo Johnson is writing The Return.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I feel like where Lost Chronicles was the OGNs that came out, I feel like they're going to do one in the future where it's like printing the sort of side miniseries that came out, individually. So things like Pink, like Draken, New Dawn, and like The Return that don't really fit into the main continuity.
I think for the main story that's going on, I think it's got great mapping. But if you want everything, like when does this miniseries supposed to take place, you can read them at any time, and that's what those Lost Chronicles are going to be for. Yeah.
Well, the stuff in Lost Chronicles doesn't tie into the main series at all. Like that's all, so that's going to be stuff like the movie.
As a matter of fact, one of them is a movie adaptation too, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of them is the movie. One of them is The Psychopath, which is like, I suppose technically could be in the mainline continuity. Yeah.
Bunk, where's the reading order?
It's
Welcome to the party, pal.
It's
That's what it
coming
feels
out when book 3 comes out, because at this point, it was a strategic decision to wait until book 3 came, so that way the entire Riot Parrot era could be contained. It was on purpose. I didn't just not do it.
For your information, Amy Jo's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers isn't connected to the current Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah,
it's more of a what if Elseworld story.
That's where we were saying with like Pink and like the Draken series, how that could be another hardcover that's unconnected to the mainline series.
Seriously, Bunk, we need an updated version of Omar's reading order. That's what it feels like. This is finding the time to do it too. Okay, cool. $75, and this wraps up that era. Is that what you're saying? Or I'm sorry, the Ryan Parrott era. Okay,
the Ryan Parrott era of Power Rangers.
Yeah. So this ends. You have the Death Ranger who's on the cover there, and then Melissa Flores takes over, and she is writing the last Power Rangers saga of the current iteration before they relaunch it and do whatever they're doing.
When is that? What issue would that be?
So they're doing that with a special. It's coming out later this year. So right now they are on the Darkest Hour crossover, which I want to say 117 is the most recent issue that came out on that. And I think it's somewhere about 120, 121 is like the last numbered issue. And then there's a special that's coming out that's going to be like the last thing.
And there's a one shot. It's here in the solicitations as well. We're not going to cover it in the single issue because we don't cover single issues here in the channel. But there is a Darkest Hour one shot that is coming out that will effectively end all of this before, like Punk Masabi said, whatever the new thing is that they're doing is how that's going to come about.
Put down the magic cards, Benny. Give us the reading order. Yeah. Are you allowed to have a personal life? How dare you? A lot of Power Rangers are out of print. However, they freaking come back to print whenever the hell Boom wants to, and it's not like a straight like, hey, a reprint is coming. You can pre-order it here. It is a restock anytime.
If you're looking for them right now, those early ones, year 1, year 2, Shattered Grid, you can find them on Amazon and you can find them undercover. For whatever reason, it's only in the book market. The direct market stuff, in-stock trades, cheap graphic novels, organic price, but like Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ting, they have not seemed to have these at all. But Amazon has them like right now for like a pretty reliable price. So if you are looking for them, get them now. You will not be able to get them later.
There you go. And Bunk's coming from Melanie's job. Okay, Cursed Pirate. What do we got here?
Melodious Mutiny. This is collects Cursed Pirate annual and the Devil's Cave one shot. Retail price at $29.99.
I assume this is going to be a standard size compared to the deluxe editions, just based on the price, right?
Yeah, standard size.
I feel like Boom doesn't do oversized unless it's like the big ones.
Or said the Ting without the hate in his voice. I like Bastion's art too. I'm a fan of his art. Me too, Jason. Me too.
Me too.
What do you got? What else you got? What else we got?
Yeah, this is the big one, Berserker. Finally out for the direct market, the regular market, whatever you want to call that out on it. This is, of course, the Keanu Reeves, Ron Garney, Matt Kent joint, which collects the entire 12-issue series. So there are 3 versions of it. You have the regular deluxe hardcover, which retails for $49.99. There is the slipcase version, which is $69.99. So for $20 more, you get the slipcase treatment. And if you want it signed, you can get it for $100. Let's see if there is. I can't see if there's any difference for this. Like, oh, okay, you get the slipcase as well with the signed one. So you get the slipcase on top of.
Is it signed by Keanu Reeves?
It doesn't say. Oh, it says all 3. There you go. You get a Keanu Reeves signed edition along with Matt Kent and Ron Garney with the signed slipcase.
How confident are we Boom is going to know how to slipcase this time around?
I am not at liberty to say. Well, I don't even have a contact at Boom anymore. I think they've learned their lessons and they've known how to do things right and do things wrong. I mean, they're still learning their lessons 10 years later with even Kickstarters. Look what happened to Lumberjanes, right? Like Lumberjanes, or not Lumberjanes. I'm sorry, the
Giant Days.
Yeah, where they messed up the book, and I don't know. Maybe, yeah, sure. It's Keanu Reeves, right? There's no way they messed this up. They got Keanu signing slipcases as we speak right now.
Pray, but yeah, you guys could get all of those, or well, any one or all of those 3. I know people who have like quintuple dipped and plus on this very single comic, like on issues and trades and all that. So I guarantee you there will be people who will buy every single one of these editions. So, which is good for all of them. And now onto the trade paperbacks. If you guys don't want the hardcover of Cursed Pirate Girl, they're also putting this out in trade paperback for $10 less. So
nice, and it's gold instead of pink.
And then Hex Vets, the River Guardian original graphic novel, book 3. This is for the middle school, older elementary school crowd, retailing for $10.99 digest size.
Awesome.
Of the upcoming animated Nickelodeon series. Cullen Bunn's continuing
this guy.
The Ghost. Man, I love Leo Maxa art too.
He's good. Cullen just pumps these out, man. I have no idea. I don't think that man does anything besides write comics.
It's like Cullen Bunn, Jeff Lemire, and I put Chip Zdarsky there too, where they're just like machines pumping out like 3 to 4 books a month. It feels like
Cullen is insane though. Cullen is on another level of like how he's got to be. He's an AI, but he's really good at being AI. I've interviewed him every year for the last few years, and I told him that the last time. I'm like, I'll talk to you like every year, and then it's pure happenstance because he's always coming out with a new book. And the last time we talked, he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm a board game collector, but I haven't played board games in so long." I'm like, "'Cause you're busy writing books." Have you read Ghost Lore, Dom?
I have not, but I have read other all of his other Boom titles.
Okay. I haven't read it, but I'm waiting for the hardcover because it's Cullen Bunn. I assume it's gonna be a hardcover, especially with his artwork of Leo Max.
Leo Max, man. Leo Max is legit. So I have to I hope they put it out in hardcover, maybe a slipcase edition. So like if they're doing it with Grimm, they're doing it with some of these other titles, like you'd have to assume it'd get it at some point.
Yeah, Dan Mora needs to teach some artists how to work in so many things at once and still having them ready on time. He's a beast. Not a lot of artists can do that.
60 pages a month with like 4 or 5 different covers. Like it's insane.
And he still does a lot of it like traditionally. He says
Yep.
he only goes
Mhm.
digital when he's like running out of time. So the fact that he isn't always just digital just shows you how that man is just a machine.
There was what's his name? Ron Lim in the 90s. I remember Ron Lim had 2 ongoing series, and then he was doing like the big like unlimited series, which were oversized, like 64 pages. I'm like, dude, how? Mark Bagley. And I remember one time Mark Bagley was like, I don't do conventions. I don't have any time to go to conventions. I got to put out the work. I get paid per page.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby did an entire year's worth of comics so he could go off and fight in the war. Like, you know, there's always been those outliers.
There are people that can, and then there are people that cannot carry a monthly series. Absolutely cannot. Craig Land has a pretty solid technique to get books. Okay, people will say what they want to about Greg Land, but he does meet deadlines, and maybe there's something to say about that.
If you guys have a chance,
and Mussolini got the trains running on time, so there you.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, did you really just go there? Okay.
We're going. We're not.
What were you gonna say, Dom?
No, the only thing I was going to say about that was if you guys haven't read the most recent, the Thor one-shot, the Thor Rocks On special, which kicks off the next arc of Immortal Thor, Greg Land completely like goes into the whole stereotype of him, like, oh, like I trace and all that. Like the art is specifically suited.
You said it's in the Thor one-shot, the new one?
Yeah, the new Thor one-shot that came out not too long ago.
Okay.
I mean, so he completely knows like he's just there for the hire, and it shows, and the book is weirdly perfect because of it. And I hate saying that, but like it is what it is.
How are the faces? Do we have any of the Greg Land special faces in that?
Oh man, it's everywhere. It's like it's your stereotypical Greg Land book in the worst but best way possible. Like it's so suited for that specific. It's like it's what you expect, and that's exactly the thing that they were going for in that issue.
Okay, say no more. I've been digging that run.
Moving on though, Lotus Land softcover trade paperback. This is retailing for $19.99. Collects Lotus Land 1 through 6. A dystopia book in Vancouver. And I got family in Vancouver. I might need to pick this up.
What was I gonna say?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the author is the same one that did Little Bird, which is about a dystopian future in Canada. So, you know, I'm not going to say that, you know, there's a certain lane being written there, but, you know.
Right, what you know, right?
Yeah. You know, right.
Then we have George R. Martin. Doesn't he still use he uses DOS, right? I remember reading somewhere that in an interview that he uses DOS to write his books. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of with Jason. Probably going to be Brandon Sanderson that finishes it out, but who knows? All futures are dystopian in Canada.
Dystopian and hockey. That's it. That's what you got.
That's all it is. Okay, yeah. So if you live in Europe and not in Canada, you can check out waltzcomicshop.com. They have books every month that they give you a big discount for, and flat shipping rates of €12 for all EU countries. Bulletproof packaging. Emails answered within 24 hours, and that's Waltz Comic Shop. Your reliable, actually, Bunk.
Your reliable source for omnis and premium conditions in Europe. Ding!
So close, but really good. Off like that. I mean, you came at it strong, dude. And if you live in America, check out cheapgraphicnovels.com. And at this moment, I just want to thank Dom for putting this together and for talking me into doing this. When I was like, Dom, I'm already doing a lot of shows, and he's like,
wait, we have to go through IDW, man. We haven't gone there.
Well, hey, man, let me finish thanking you first. We're not going anywhere yet. Hold on a second.
Man who is committed to his job. He is cutting you off mid-thanks and be like, no, Omar, you cannot appreciate me yet.
You, man. I forgot to thank you earlier, and you're like, wait. Okay, can I go now, Dad? Yes, we can do IDW. Let's do IDW.
No. Well, I want to thank you, Omar, for letting me host it. I want to tell all the people too, because we do have we have a this is what our sheet looks like. You can filter it.
And this is
by-
where?
This is at comicreleases.com. This is our cool spreadsheets that we let, it's free and open to the public. But if you want to watch this, of course, have the Patreon. The cool thing about this, though, is that if you are in Europe and you're like, man, I don't feel like searching up the comic that I want to search in or whatever, we do have links to every single book that will directly lead you to the retailer you're buying. In case if you're Europe, I want to go to Walt's comic shop and be like, oh, hey, Something's Killing the Children is there. I want to buy it. Boom, you click the link. And I guess we can't find. But anyways, my point being, if you are looking for your books, we do have links there that will lead you to that specific title.
Ta-da! Thank you for that.
But anyways, I apologize for cutting. I like, if I'm hyper-fixated on something and we got a job, I'm like, but thank you, Omar, for the thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
I just gotta
feel bad.
salute that dedication.
I was like, I don't think I've
You're
been cut off
no,
before.
we got a job.
That was awesome. That's how dedicated the man is. Thank you so much, James, for putting that out there. I use spreadsheets and I use those spreadsheets and make myself poor. I mean, order books. Middle Easterns never get anything nice. Ouch. I have no follow-up to that comment. I don't. Bar, thoughts and prayers with you.
Maybe we'll get a Filipino reseller at some point, as someone who was born and raised there for like a couple of years. But anyways,
all right, IDW
with
some big news.
We got Beelzebubs Volume 2, No Rest for the Wicked, written and drawn by J.P. Ahonen. This is one of those sideways type of books. Think what was that J.H. Williams book that came out? The one that how can I forget?
No, hold on. Close my eyes. Not Eastlanders. Echolands.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
why did I even have to close my eyes and think? There's always someone in the comment that will help us. Thank you all so much. Echolands.
Thank you guys. But yeah, Volume 2, retailing for $19.99 and 144 pages.
All right.
And then interesting one, the artist edition of Dave Cockrum's X-Men. Yes, the man who helped kick off the spectacular 16 years that we got Claremont and co. doing what they did with the X-Men. Phenomenal stuff. 160 pages for $150, the same size as all of the other artist edition. And so far we have an on sale date for July 30th, and got giant size X-Men 1, etc. all in this throughout.
Omar, I know you don't normally buy these, but it is X-Men, and I believe you're contractually obligated to buy all X-Men. Are you picking this up?
IDW was kind enough to send me a few. Yeah, I've gotten a couple of them, and some of my viewers have sent me a couple. Will I get this one if they don't send it to me? Yeah, it's a game. It's a game changer too. And to see Dave Cockrum's art, and I really, really hope they keep the storm shower scene in there with the little. Would be a nice incentive to get people to buy it. Yeah. Of course, it's X-Men.
Of course, we have to. I might buy it too, just for that reason.
For the storm shower scene.
No, I'm talking about just in general, man.
Okay, in general. My man, okay.
Yeah, again, I'm DomofX, man. We gotta keep the X stereotype in.
Well, and the other thing to keep in mind though, too, even if you live in America and you go through cheap graphic novels or in-stock trades or organic price books or dime break collectors or Tales of Wonder, it doesn't matter. The discount on these is not good. Because they can't. They can't discount these that much. Bunk, what is the biggest discount you've seen on these? I've seen $10 off, I think, at most.
Basically, unless it goes to clearance. I've seen sometimes with IDW where they'll do if it's a particular title that's sat around, like I want to say Simonson's Fantastic Four Artist Edition, when IDW was doing their store, their sale. I want to say I saw that at like 50% off, so it was $75, but that was like during their annual sale directly from them. From if you're looking at a normal discount, it's like 10% off from a cheap graphic novels or something like that. It's not much.
Yeah, that's I mean, on top of that, you got to ship it too, right? Like, which is probably why it costs so much money. But yeah, beautiful books. Beautiful books. And I saw something there. There we go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the IDW collection, volume 16.
Volume 16, $59.99, 328 pages. And this collects 125 to 132, the 2021, 2022 annuals, and the first 2 issues of the Armageddon game event.
This is such a good question. And if you want to go back to watch my interview with the guy that actually made the artist edition, Scott Doombeer, I strongly suggest going back and watching that interview. Not because I'm plugging my own video, but because it's so informative. I ask every question that I've always wanted to ask, and a lot of my viewers were asking questions in the chat about how he can do that, because the art belongs to the artist, right? That's the thing. Do they have to get approval from Marvel and DC Comics? Absolutely they do, because the lettering belongs to Marvel and things like that. Like that, yeah. The scans belong to Marvel, but at the end of the day,
the hoops.
Yeah. Scott's made a lot of connections since his days in Wildstorm. It's a great interview if you care about the artist editions. And Scott may come back to the channel sometimes, what he said. So we'll see. This is the interview link right there.
Scott just left IDW, didn't he?
He did.
He
He's
left
doing his
on
own
his,
thing.
of his own accord and is starting his publishing company. And I've already heard some things that I'm like, okay,
There's
we'll see what happens, Scott.
There's rumor mongering, so
I mean that's gonna be.
Just
the rumors I kept hearing before he made the announcement was, he's gonna start working for Marvel. He's gonna go do the DC exclusive thing.
I was just gonna say there's a rumor that Simonson is gonna go with him because of a specific opt out he has, and bring Ragnarok with him and pick it back up, because like they've been friends for a very long time.
They are very close. Yeah, they're very close, but who knows? He's made it. The thing about Scott is that he's never burnt bridges, and he has made a lot of connections since his days at Wildstorm Comics. Those TMNT hardcovers are getting paperback versions now too, right? They have been for a while. And then I don't think there's been one solicited for a while. I don't know if they're going to continue them. I know we need. Can you scroll down just a little bit, Dom? I know we need at the very least 2 more to wrap up this era before Jason Aaron's run.
Before
I think it should just be 2, because the next one is going to be
the Armageddon game too.
The Armageddon game,
those mini series. So I think 2 for sure.
Yeah, and then you get. I think there was a new Secret History of the Foot mini that came out, and then you get the last of the Sophie Campbell run up to 150.
What's my favorite Dave Cockrum story he wrote and drew? Oh, it's either that Nightcrawler mini. No, I gotta go. Yeah, that's the one. I love that story, man. I love that that made me a fan of Nightcrawler. That it's the swashbuckler he always wanted to write. So yeah, that's the one for me.
And onto the trade paperbacks, we've got a coloring book for $16.99, 128 pages.
Those. Both them and Dark Horse have been doing those coloring books.
Yeah, they have. So
yeah, you can find them at Ollie's a year from now.
Okay. This episode's not brought to you by Ollie's.
This episode is brought to you by...
Let us know.
I'm gonna get on the phone in the next minute. Ollie's, give me a call. We can work something out. What else we got?
Next up, we got Star Trek Halloween. This is another one of those thin trade paperbacks going for $20. Written by Chris Sequeira and art by Joe Asma. This is a Halloween special. I don't know much about it besides that.
I bet it takes place on the holodeck.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I can neither confirm nor. I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, it's called Hollow, and it literally is the little thing in the back. It appears to be a picture of the holodeck. So I'm pretty safe in my assumption.
You're the smartest guy on the panel today, Dom. Bunk, yeah. I only say that because Dom cut me off when I was thanking him for putting everything together. All right, what's next, buddy?
What it is. Star Trek's Picard's Academy. Commit no mistakes. This
Thanks,
is.
Bob. You don't have to buy it now.
Omar's getting you spend that money. I just save it for you.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. Check it out.
Picard's Academy. Commit no mistakes. Never heard of the series, but I'm also not a Star Trek comic book reader. My friend Tina is. She's actually helping me with one of the IDW books. I was like, here, take the Star Trek books because I don't really read them. I read a couple of them, and one was like a crossover with the X-Men.
I feel like everyone's got an academy going, like a young adult academy thing going on right now. You know, we've had so many over the years. We've got Power Rangers Academy going on. We've had, both Marvel and DC have done theirs. And this, just looking at the cover, looks very young adult oriented with an academy. Just, it's a good time to be in school, I guess, if you have a fantasy franchise.
As someone who is currently in school, I can say that it's not as
exciting.
Well, it's not as exciting as people imagine, but it is sometimes fun, and that's why you pick up those stories. I think people like the publishers just want to get the younger audiences to engage with something, right? Especially if you're like, I don't know, like if you look at Teen Titans Academy, right? I don't care for Nightwing or Starfire, but you want to see like other characters and spitting those. Probably when you want to pick up one of these types of stories. But yeah, they have been doing a lot of those for like the last 5-6 years. At all companies, not just IDW, but everywhere else.
We had Strange Academy with Marvel, and like I said, they just launched the Power Rangers.
You gotta get the new generations in at some point. And that is it.
That's it. That's it.
That's
okay. Well, I went ahead and gave the ads. I went ahead and talked about thanking Dom because he put this together. And at this moment, I also want to thank Bunkmaster for joining us, man. This is your first time on the channel, isn't it?
First time not moderating the chat, and first time not being at year end. So yeah, this has been cool. Yeah, we've talked for a long time, and I was like, I need to find something for Ben to get in there to do. And I know he loves like independent publishers, so yeah, I'm so glad you got to join me for this. I know we've had it planned for over a month now, but the day finally came and I got it together to get going. More Dom and Bunk, less Omar. Okay, Hayden, you'll get your wish here come May or no, June.
Yeah, because I do believe Omar will be busy, so I will be hosting the show.
Yeah, Dom wants to roll solo without me, so he's been doing really good so far. You can also find Bugmaster B on the upcoming NMC Trouble review, which will be aired. I just got to do a couple of edits that was asked of me, so I will be happy to do that. Hayden, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. You know I love you back. Thank you, Dom. I hope you eventually escape the final scene of the Blair Witch Project in which you seem to be trapped. I thought you were just coming in from a cave, which makes
you know what's funny? This is the cover of a MCU sword poster that they had for WandaVision, and this is the only part of the cover that is apparently like viably usable for the green screen, or that StreamYard will let me use anyways. So
It does look very cabiny with like
it
all
does.
The
It does,
right?
doesn't it? But I've had so many people from my the comic releases Discord just like tell me, Dom, you have a green screen and never use it, so use it for something. And since it was indie today, I was like, well, I can't use like a Marvel or DC thing because it'd just be tonally off. So I was like, okay, this is the next closest thing that I could use because no one's gonna know what it is.
So when we were showing the website, right, it looked like you were in a cave. But now that I'm taking a closer look at it, it looks like you're the Matrix. It's got like all the green lettering back there. Why not go with Indiana Jones for today's stream?
Oh, that's a good point. I never thought of that. As someone who loves Indiana Jones, I feel ashamed now.
Yes.
All right, guys, we gotta do the stream again. All right, Dom,
Please.
roll it back to image. You put up the new screen. We got to start from the beginning.
Change it. We can change it, Dom.
Okay.
That was a joke. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Dom used the green screen not to show anything. No, there's
stuff there. There's blue and green and red particles.
Dom's getting it. Look, you gotta get into it, man. Sometimes you gotta go and argue with your viewers, man. Don't take it, Dom. Giving them an inch. I'll take a foot. Sometimes a yard, like some of these folks.
Sometimes.
But thank you all so much for watching. And again, thank you to my co-host. Where can people find you guys when you're not doing these type of videos with me?
So I am, of course, the editor of comicreleases.com, the website that was just fabulously shown and allowed me to be presented by Omar himself. We again have all of your solicitations, documentations, collected edition release date updates to the date. So if you're looking for a reliable source for all things, you go to my site at Comic Releases. Wanted to give another big shout out to Webhead for helping me put this all together too. And on top of that, you can also find me on YouTube at DomofX, where hopefully I am hopefully going to upload something soon. I've just been so busy and trampled with lots of schoolwork and college work and transfer work. So hopefully I can get out something soonish. But I will be uploading soon for all the lots of new people subscribe. So thank you all for that.
Y'all are silly. Bunk, where can people find you, buddy?
So first off, thank you both guys so much. Dom, for putting this together and getting all of that. So cool. Also for just being so dedicated that you're cutting off the thank you from Omar to be like, no, sir, we have a mission. And Omar coming back from C2E2 and still making sure that you are here getting all of this and putting all this together. I want to thank you guys both for doing all this. If you liked the words I said and you would like to hear me say more words also about comics, you can scroll up in the chat a little bit. I'm on YouTube at BunkmasterB. James linked it before. I put up a new video today about the best comics that you aren't reading right now that you should be. So, hey, if you want to read more comics, go watch that video.
There you go. I am the Uncanny Omar, and there will be a video dropping at 3. It's my overview of the Daredevil by Miller Companion Omnibus reprint coming out next week. And at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live, I will be interviewing Marjorie Bennett and Mark Silvestri, my favorite comic book author or artist of all time. Artist. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to have him back. They have they're gonna be talking about Witchblade, but it'll be a live episode, so you guys jump in and talk about whatever you want, ask questions. But that's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that is it for me. My mom and dad are here. They came to visit, and I think they might have brought me lunch, which, hey, awesome. That's great. It's already 2 p.m. I need something. Have a great one, everybody. Hit that like button on the way out. Thank you for being here. And again, thank you to Dom.